I'm going to show you how you can create carousel posts like this using AI. Now, I honestly never even posted carousel posts until I realized Gamma actually creates this for you and posts. And you can see the carousel post here is basically like a presentation here on LinkedIn. And you can create this and then just post it directly to LinkedIn. Now, the cool thing is you can also, if you chose to download this, you could upload it to Instagram here. So you can see I have this post here on Instagram. So I wanted to show you how to create that. Now, the same as all of the other options inside of Gamma, you can create this using text. So if you have like notes or an outline or something like that that you want to use, you can use this option here. You can actually just give it a topic, like a one-line prompt, and it will create the whole thing for you. Or you could even import the file, like if you have a blog post or a knowledge base article, you could use that there. And I'm going to show you real easily how to use this here. And I'm actually just going to use a blog post. So I'm going to use this blog post here. And I want to take the link, which this is a great way to promote your blog posts, but also to repurpose them. I'm just going to paste this here. Then I'm going to add my link. Now, just like all of the other options we have, as soon as you give it the content, it's going to give you the outline and it's going to allow you to do some editing. Here, this time, I'm going to choose social and continue because I do want it to create the social post. You can see it's pulled in all of the information here from the blog article. We can choose, to keep it minimal, concise, detailed, or extensive. Just these are all the same options for every, whether you're doing document or presentation or web page. We can, of course, use AI to create the images. We can use auto select if we don't have a specific model we want to use. We could also choose the style of the images here. And then, of course, our format was social, so I'm going to keep it on that. If we needed to edit any of the content here, we could do that. I'm just going to say 5 cards for this and generate. So now the AI is going to create all of those social media posts in carousel form automatically for us. So it's going to generate that, and then I'll show you how you can immediately share this to LinkedIn, just like this one here. Let's go back. Gotta find it. Now, of course, like I was saying yesterday, you have all of these standard options here. You can come over and click on the cards. You can use any of these editing options, but you can see really quickly we've created our entire carousel post, and that was just off of the link. Okay. Now, this is really easy to share. Of course, once you create this, you can go to share. You want to go to export, and then you'll see this option here for LinkedIn. Now, you can create your post for LinkedIn if you want to add something to it, but if you just click post to LinkedIn, you can see there is no integration really needed. You just log in to LinkedIn, and then it allows you to post. So we can click here to look at the post that we created right here. Okay, so you can see how cool that is. Now, something else that you may not even realize, let me delete this, that you can take this here and you can download this as a PDF. So let's go ahead and do that. And you can go right into your HighLevel account and you can go to create a new post. Let's just save this to the desktop. You can create a new post here and you can choose LinkedIn. This does only work for LinkedIn, but let's just choose this here. And if we select our LinkedIn post, I'm just going to choose this one because I already had this created. You'll see that it brings in all of the different pages of the PDF that we can post as a carousel post. And you'll do that by coming down here and you'll see this option, post photos as a PDF. So when you post it from here, you'll see that it looks exactly like this because that's what I use to post this. Okay, so super, super cool. Now you will have to post to LinkedIn, or I'm sorry, to Instagram. You'll have to download this as PNGs, and then you can upload to Instagram. Okay, so super, super cool. Now, You'll see here there was actually no call to action and it was pretty generic. So if you did want to create something really targeted for your audience, you could use this custom GPT that I created. It's like a Gamma expert. So if you guys go to myvisionagency.com/Gamma and you use my affiliate link to create a paid account, definitely contact me and I'll give you access to this. But all you would want to do is click here to create the social media content. Not only can you ask this custom GPT any question you have about Gamma, but it will ask you a series of questions to make sure that when you do generate this prompt, that it has all of the things included that you want it to be included, including your target audience. So let's walk through this a little bit and I'll show you how you can use this. So what platform do you want to create this content for? Let's just say LinkedIn. So I'm just going to paste that here. And it's saying LinkedIn is a great choice. What's the main goal of your LinkedIn content? So I'm actually just going to tell it. I want the call to action to be to join my free community. All right, excellent. Who is your target audience for this LinkedIn content? Aren't entrepreneurs, marketers, students, agency owners, marketers, and entrepreneurs. All right, so the next question. Do you already have notes, key ideas, or messaging you'd like to include? Now, I should have some type of idea. Of course, I could just tell it no, because it's saying, should I create it from scratch? So let's say that I want this to be about dangers of procrastination in business. Perfect. How many cards would you like in your LinkedIn carousel? And it's giving me some examples here. I'm just going to say 5. Do you have any specific format requirements like bold headlines, bullet points, or should I design it in Gamma's recommended best practice style? So I'm just going to copy this, except I didn't copy the G there. All right, so now it is actually suggesting the best method based off what we've told it. So it's saying the best method is generate mode, but if you're not on the plus plan, just be aware that it does go off of a credit system. So generate mode is saying that you'll use about 40 credits for that. So I'm on the unlimited plan, so I'm just going to say generate mode. Do you want me to prepare the content and generate mode for you? So we'll say yes. I thought it was asking me which mode. Okay, so now you'll see we have the entire prompt here. And the important thing about this prompt is not only is it all organized, but we have our specific call to action. We've told it exactly who we wanted to create this for, and we've given it a topic. So it's given us, the method recommendation, use generate mode, the pro tips, keep each card under 50 words, add a branded cover image in Gamma, how to export the carousel, and you can click here for the link to the guide. Okay, so I'm just going to take this now, and it told us to use the generate mode. So I'm going to go back now, create new. We're going to use generate. We're going to use the social media option. We told it 5 cards here, so I'm going to minimize that to 5. And then I'm just going to paste in my prompt that it just gave me. I'm going to click here to edit my prompt. You'll see we have all of the same options here, and we can even choose our theme. And I'm just going to keep all of that the same. Let's make sure that this is 5 cards and generate. And now you see we have our carousel post being created here. And of course, we could come over here and change the theme to any of these we like, or we could use our own custom theme. So I'll just go ahead and make it my custom theme. And then we can download or we can share this. You can even really embed this into a website, but I really wouldn't recommend that. I would rather just create a website page if that's what I really wanted to. Then you just come up here, share, export, and then share it to LinkedIn. Now, you could also download this or export it as a PDF, PowerPoint, Google Slides, or the PNGs like I was explaining. Now, I want to stop sharing now, and I want to ask you guys if you have any questions. I'm going to let Timian and Andrea and Maria. Sorry, you guys, when I'm screen sharing, it's hard to see when people are waiting to be let in. Feel free to raise your hand if you have a question about this or anything else or comments. Anybody using it to create carousels? Manila?
Yeah, I did sign up and I sent you a message on the chat to get the GPT. I don't
Yep,
know
I
if
responded. Yeah, I
you found
responded.
it
Yep, in the community.
in the community. Okay,
Yep,
so I get the answer in the community.
yep.
Got you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sandy, you have a question?
I also signed up, but it was just today, and I sent you an email. I didn't know where to ask you for the chat
Oh, that's fine.
access, so I sent you an email just earlier because I use
Yeah,
a different address because my husband is so excited about it. He has to use it too, so I can't put it in my personal email area.
yeah. Oh, that's
Um,
okay. Yeah, I'll look into it when we're done here
but
and then.
I'm super excited that you went over the carousels because he actually has me working on carousels today, and I hadn't even remembered that I could use this app for that too. So you've taken care of all my problems for the weekend.
Yay! I
Hey, I don't
love
have to
it.
work as much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. That's the best compliment. If I can help someone not work so much, that is the best for sure. Do you guys have any other questions or anything you'd like to discuss? Do you have any ideas? I know, like in open office hours, we were talking about all the different ways that we could use this. I know Kina is not in here, but she was talking about using Gamma to basically, like for cold outreach, to use that to create like mock-ups for client websites. And then she would go like record herself going through the website and explaining it to the client because you can so quickly create website like in seconds create websites. So I thought, man, that's such a genius use case for that for sure. And proposals and just getting ideas. Like if you've never designed a website before or you're just not a great designer, being able to put that information in there and then getting that mock-up in seconds, even if you rebuild it, it'll take you so much less time. Sandy, you have another question?
Since nobody else has asked anything else, I was wondering when you were talking about the carousels, how we could use this, like what recommendations or sizes for posts that we could use inside of like a high level community, because we're truly trying to build up a community and we're having difficulty getting people to come in, and we put some content in it, but it would make it so much easier if I could create something like with this to put content into the community so that I'm not constantly having just to, use Canva and come up with my own thing. Does that make sense? Like you had said, like if we use that for LinkedIn, we could only probably put it in LinkedIn in the
Mhm.
social posting area. But what about if we were to put it in the community level? Is there like a certain
Well,
size?
it wouldn't work for like the carousel part, but you could take that same idea. Let me go into here. You
Does that
could
make
take
sense what I said? Okay.
you could take the same idea though, like we just created this, and we could, let's see, I think there's an option here. I know like for the website, let's do share, export. I was thinking so we could publish this to a site. I was thinking maybe I know we used it to create the carousel, right?
Right.
But we could essentially use the same content to just create a PDF. I just was wondering if there was an option to convert it. Like all of these, if you used a document or the presentation, you could always turn it into a website. So I wondered if that was an option here, and I don't see that it is. But all you'd essentially have to do is just come back here, choose the same thing, like we chose generate, and we would choose document, and let's say 5 cards, and I'll just use the same prompt that we spit out here about procrastination. And then you would just, instead of doing a carousel post, you could just do a document. And then that would be easy to just go to the community and then upload it to a post
Okay.
go into. I mean, of course, you could use this, or you could just go into here and then post it because it does create value. So it's like what we were saying about lead magnets, and you want to use your free community to deliver it. You would then just create this post, and then you could add the attachment here of the PDF.
Okay. Great. That's awesome.
Yeah. Of course, you could also put it here or inside of any of the courses that you have. And each module, you can upload files to the module as well.
This is a good task for my husband to do. He has a lot of old content that he wants to kind of refurbish. There's like episodes people maybe haven't listened to or asked questions about now a year or two later. And
Mhm.
so I was like, why don't we just rehash some of your older content, refreshing it up? But this would give him a way to make it, he could do this, have to
Yeah.
do all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, really, it's unlimited the things that you can do. Like I've thought about, here it's creating that PDF. So I've thought about taking the transcript of videos and creating guides from it, or even full-blown websites. And it's like Kina was saying yesterday, you can create templates and then just put in the information. So it just very quickly like duplicates that. So if you had like a standard theme or style that you wanted, just quickly creating it with that new info, just based off of a link. Like you can use your knowledge base, you can use the blog articles, you can use content that you created on ChatGPT, or you could just create it right here inside of Gamma. So once you create that, it's just downloading. Go share, export to PDF. You guys are quiet today. Andrea, you have a question?
I missed the first part, but looking at this, I'm going to sign up right now.
I know. It doesn't take much, really.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a free plan too, so it's kind of a no-brainer. Even if you just used it once a month, it's like you're still, that's incredible. And the images and all of that, really cool tool.
Nice.
What else? You guys are so quiet. I don't know if you feel like I do. I didn't really want to get too deep into all of this, but it has been a very rough week for our country. And I don't know if you guys feel like this, but it's kind of just this really dark cloud hanging over everything. So I don't know if you're feeling like I am, but it is what it is. Jesus Christ, it's the Son of God, died on the cross for our sins. Um, thank God. That's all I gotta say. Manolo?
Just like you, it's been a rough week for the country. It's been really rough for everything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to ignore it, especially you
Yeah.
Hispanic. Very hard here in Los Angeles is a big issue.
I think it's really, really sad that, yeah, I really don't want to turn this into a big political thing, but it's on all of our minds. And so I think it's just really sad that we can't talk about things. We can't disagree with one another. We can't, it's like if you don't have debate and you don't have like conversation, how are you ever going to come to a conclusion? It's like in a marriage, right? I've been with my husband 27 years. There are often times that we don't agree on things, but we have to be able to talk about it so that we can find common ground and we can say, all right, I disagree with you there. And he can say, I disagree with you there. But we can find some way to meet in the middle so that we can both feel like we were heard and that we got a little piece of what we feel is important in whatever decision that we come to together. And I just think if we can do that in marriages, why can't we do that with each other? Why is there so little respect for how other people feel and how other people think? Because we all have a different worldview. And it doesn't mean that any of us are wrong. We just have our own experiences and our own points of view and things that are important to us. And even if we disagree, there has to be a way that we can talk about things so that we all are realizing we're on the same team. So yeah, I'm seeing you guys in the chat. It's very sad. So, Martina says, yes, respectfully controversial. Honestly, I love talking to people who disagree with me, especially if it's a topic that I know very well. You know, I love debating things, but it's I created a video I haven't posted yet, but it's just sad. Honestly, that's what I come away with. Just very sad. So you guys have anything else you want to talk about today? Paul, you have a question?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, good. I'm sorry if this question's a little bit off gamma or just a different type of question.
Okay.
But I'm fairly new to the high level stuff. The sub accounts. So let's say I create, let me just say, I have a barber shop that I go to. Let's say I create for him a calendar, a website. He loves it, right? And then 100 different barbershops want this. Does that mean I can create like an unlimited amount of these sub accounts for each one? Or maybe I'm not thinking of it correctly. Maybe there should be a different way I should offer that kind of product.
So, what you want to think about with sub accounts is a sub account is for a business. So,
Okay.
every business needs to have their own sub account. Now,
Okay.
within that sub account, and of course, the number of sub accounts that you have is going to depend on the plan that you chose. So,
Hmm.
the $97 plan, you get three sub accounts, including your own that you use to
Hmm.
manage your business. Then the 297 plan is unlimited sub accounts. Then the 497 plan is unlimited sub accounts plus the automation. So
Okay.
basically the difference between the 297 and 497 is that you at the 497 level you have the ability to automatically create the sub account and the user with all the correct permissions. So that's
Okay.
really the big difference there. And then also you have rebilling.
Okay.
So each sub account will have that will be for a individual business.
For
So
each
within
business.
that sub account, you can
Mhm.
create unlimited websites. It's
Oh,
just you want to make sure that each business has its own sub account because you're oftentimes you want to upsell them to emails and like all of that stuff, and it all needs to be within the sub account.
okay. But the platform can support hundreds and hundreds of sub accounts.
Oh
As
yeah.
many. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. And really, we all use templates for everything. I mean, you use your standard template for your specific niche client and like barbershops. And the chances of them being right next to each other is slim to none, unless you're just really local. But
Mhm.
even slight modifications change up the whole look of the website. So you could use the
Okay.
same template over and over. And if you really want to be advanced, you can use custom values. And I have training on this in the membership area in the community. You can use custom values, and then it basically creates like a form. And you can say, or you providing this as a service to them, you can add like their brand colors and then it will update the websites throughout the entire account. So you could create like a snapshot, which includes websites and email templates and workflows and all of that stuff. And then you could set it up to use custom values. Once you add the content, like their brand colors to the custom value, then it updates everything.
Okay.
So there's really HighLevel is one of the best platforms that I've ever used for duplication like that for client work.
Okay.
It's really cool.
Cool.
Manolo, you have a question?
Just going back to that subject that we were talking about, the um the things that are going on right now. I did think about publishing a video, but the reality is that either way you put it is wrong. People will not take it correctly, and they might you have a lot of followers, so I would just ignore it because you
Mhm.
have a lot in the game. I try to stay neutral, but it's impossible. But right now, neutral is one way or the other one.
Being new to, okay, I understand that logic, and that's definitely the safest thing. But if you don't share who you are, no one will care who you are. Okay. So I posted something on my Facebook page. It's about like if you want to find your tribe, be like be truthful. Like let people know who you are and what's important to you and what you stand for. Now, I don't think that telling people what you believe in, what you stand for, has to be in a way that's demeaning to other people. I don't think just because you believe one certain way that you have to say, and everybody who disagrees with me is 100% wrong and evil. I don't think that that's the right way to go about it. But I definitely do think that when you let people know who you are and what's important, while some people will unfollow you, you will also have a lot of people who choose to follow you. And those people who choose to follow you are going to be ones who are like your ride or die tribe. The ones who are like, I know you and I so agree with you. And the fact that you shared that lets me know that that's what you really believe. And so now it's like this weird thing that we have about the online world where we all kind of feel like we're just behind this like facade or something, or we can't really trust that people are who they say they are. We kind of break down that barrier when we share who we are as people. Like my faith, I'm not quiet about that. I never will be quiet about that. And I can be intimidated by assassination attempts or bullies and trolls online. Or I could be worried that if I speak out about something that I'll be demonetized or I will be canceled or whatever. I could be worried about all of that, but it's that part is only a temporary concern. There are some things that are more important. And I do feel like, especially when you do have a large following, that people do deserve the right to know who you are as a person and what's important to you. And if they don't agree, I would rather them go find someone that they do agree with and they do align with better because I don't want to feel like I can't say like I can't be myself when I'm talking to people. So that's my my stance on. But I also think everyone, I respect your opinion, and I also respect that we can all choose what we feel most comfortable doing because there's risks in everything. Martina, you have something to say or share?
I was gonna
Oh,
say
go ahead. Sorry.
I understand that part,
Mhm.
and that's the way it should be. But as we have seen, obviously, those that don't agree sometimes take actions that are not popular, that are
Mhm.
not correct. And that's why I decided not to go either way, especially that the fact that I'm Hispanic.
Yeah, well, and like I said, everybody has to choose what's best for them. And yeah, I respect your opinion. You certainly, we have to, but there's a fighter in me, Manolo. So if someone tells me that I can't say or do something, that's the first thing I want to go do. I just think there's a balance. There's some things worth fighting for, and there's sometimes that we should just kind of like fade off into the background and let everything work itself out. Martina,
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay, I have my Bluetooth in and hopefully it won't drop. I have a question. I'll get to the question, but I want to just piggyback off of what you just said there at the end. And that is in the big scheme of things, God is in control. So sometimes you do have to fade in the back, sit back and let him do what he do. And then sometimes that human side of you, that fight side of you says you have to speak up. So I 100% agree with you. I want to do the exact opposite when people tell me I can't do something. I immediately want to go and disprove that because I know I can, I will, and I must do whatever it is that's been purposed in me. The question that I have, getting back on topic with what the gentleman said, I'm driving, so I couldn't see his name, but I did hear the question, and I love the way you explained it because that is one of the questions that I had with regards to the sub accounts and the automation. So that means that I will be bumping back up from my 297 plan to my 497 plan. So I want to make sure that I first with you doing our consult to make sure that when I do that, that you'll get whatever the contribution is. But my question about that is, because that is exactly what I want to do for this new speaking pivot that I've made. I
Mhm.
guess my question is that 297 plan that I currently have, how much can I pre-set up in preparation for the incoming clients so that when I do upgrade, then I can kick into whatever the automation is or click or make whatever links to make that actually fire off. How much can I set up in the 297 plan ahead of time, like the custom values, the forms, and all of that?
So I don't think that there's really anything you need to prepare for, but when you do upgrade to the SaaS plan, it changes, it enhances things that you can do. So I think the challenge, I guess, or really the only thing that you need to think about is they will go from like an agency member to a SaaS plan member. And so you'll have to link their account or their payment method to a SaaS plan to automate
Mhm.
the rebilling part. There will be like a conversion to switch over to the SaaS plan. But if you already have their payment method on file and things like that, it shouldn't be that much of a challenge. It's just definitely better to start out. Honestly, it's such a balancing act because it's like the 497 plan, if you don't have a lot of clients, it's like, whoa, that's stressful. And you don't want to like put yourself
Been
in a
there,
situation where you're like paying for things that you don't really need yet. But
been there.
the balance of that is you start out somewhere where you know you're going to need the 497, and then you're in this position where you're like, okay, now I need to switch things up and I need to upgrade to SaaS, which switches up my system and my processes and all of that stuff. So it's not
And
that.
I believe that's where some of the hiccups that I'm experiencing in my account has happened because I was at the 497 plan and I was like, this is a much higher expense than I anticipated for the market I was in. And
Mhm.
now that I'm pivoting my market and I am going after that higher end client and I do see the influx potentially happening here pretty soon, I want to make sure that it's not going to be that much of a pivot for me so I can make sure everything fires off the way it's supposed to fire off. But yeah, I believe that's why we see some of the divots that I have in my system when you guys will say this is happening. I'm like, no, I have to log out, cache, log back in, and then all of a sudden it'll show up. I believe that's probably the issue that has caused that. So at least I know that is the direction I'm going in, and I'm already anticipated. Thank you for letting me know what steps I will have to put in place to
Mhm.
get my agency back up to agency level versus like I say, I just started transitioning certain levels of clients out to their own GHL account and really focusing my agency on this new avenue because that is what will pay the bills and keep the business on.
And that's definitely the goal. That's what
Yeah,
we
I couldn't figure out why I was getting so frustrated, and I really had to take a look at what my previous market was and the clientele was, and really take a really serious look. And it's been a scary pivot, but I know that it's the right pivot, so I'll just stay the course and like I said, let him do what he do, and I'll
Mhm.
stay in my lane and do what I do, and God will do what He does.
Oh, yeah, it is that it's also because I try to tell people like if you don't need the 497, don't do the 497. But if
Mhm.
you think in a couple months you're gonna need the 497, oh my gosh, just do it and just set it up all once and then forget it. But also it is sometimes it's a financial burden if you're just coming out of pocket and you have a full-time job and you're just trying to build this business and get your first client. But I say that also having to share that what I started doing in my business that really started moving the needle, it's when I transitioned from lifetime learner that I'm always talking to you guys about. I transitioned from that out of absolute necessity because I had to pay the bills and I was panicked. I was at a point where I first started my business where I'm like, I don't even know how I'm going to pay my mortgage next month. I was panicked. I quit my job in pharmacy and then because I had this client who, it was basically going to help me transition from full-time employee into, being able to sustain my life. As soon as I quit my job within days, I lost that client. So I was like, oh my gosh, like panic stricken. But that kind of stress, while it's like sometimes feels unbearable, it also is incredible motivation. So it's
Indeed,
like
it is.
I would tell myself, like I literally had a come to Jesus moment with myself saying, all right, Bridget, you think you can quit your job and be a successful business owner and prove it. That's literally what I told myself. Prove it. If you're so great and you think you deserve all of this stuff, then prove it. Go out and figure out how to get a client. Go make sales calls. Do all the uncomfortable things that you don't want to do and prove it, because it's going to be a lot easier to do all these uncomfortable things than go walk back into another pharmacy counting the seconds until retirement. So that's
I so love you, Bridget, because that is every scenario you just named. Just take your voice out, put my voice in, and that is exactly what is happening, from the thoughts about the mortgage to the client loss, my highest loss over a year ago. That one client, and like having to pivot from that has been really, really scary. But again, I know I'm on the right course.
Mhm,
I just have to stick it out and do the uncomfortable and watch it, manifest. And
mhm.
thank you, Sandy. So I appreciate your transparency. Thank you.
And it's also why I love the software and reoccurring income using software, because the last thing we want to do is put our entire business future in the hands of one client and whether they decide to.
Woo!
We need to diversify. And if we have one big client, we need to have like 50 clients who are paying us $500 a month just to access our software.
Exactly. Exactly. Preach.
For real.
Preach, raise a glass, whatever kind of conflict you want to have in that statement. Yes, that's exactly true. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it just, and this is why I love community, because it's like we've all been there at certain times in different situations. And it's just nice sometimes to hear, like, oh, okay. Like I had a meeting today with someone who was asking me about basically imposter syndrome. And she was saying, like, I've been in business for 25 years, and I just feel like if I start an agency, like what I just always feel like I don't really know what I'm talking about. And I just saw Matt Decino did a video, of HL Pro Tools. He just did a video where he was addressing this, and he really explained it very well. And I think the reason, and this is kind of what he was describing, when we have imposter syndrome, it's like we're just hard on ourselves because we think, oh, today I woke up and here's another problem I don't know how to solve. And I'm just constantly winging it and trying to figure things out. And sometimes I feel like I'm just drowning under all these problems I don't know how to solve. And it makes you feel like you're inadequate and you're not prepared for all of this. But then when you look back and you're like, 25 years in business, or look at all I've accomplished in the last year. Look at all the things that I've learned that now I know how to do that I can help other people do. That's not being an imposter at all. It's like we just, I think, need to accept in ourselves that as business owners, we are solving new problems every single day. Every
Yeah,
day.
and that's the transparent journey. That's not being an imposter.
Yeah.
That's life. That's the journey,
Yeah.
especially in entrepreneurship.
Yeah, and there's no way that you can take a class that's going to teach you everything you're ever going to know about business. There's no degree that you can get. Maybe you have the foundation. Maybe like everything that I know, I learned from YouTube videos. That's why I love teaching on YouTube. But we have to learn. And all the things that you learn, if it's like, like she was saying, 25 years in business, that's a lot of experience. That's a lot of days waking up trying to figure things out. Also, if you have been in business for 25 years running different local businesses and you don't feel like you have value to share, what do you mean? There's so many problems that you have solved in 25 years. And Martina said 20 years. I've been in business for over 10 years. This agency business, about 6 years, but our local business before then, about 8 years. So that's a lot of problems you know how to solve. It's a lot of value to give. So we're definitely not imposters. And I think there's also a lot of value in saying, hey, I don't know how to solve that problem, but I can figure it out. And I have confidence in myself I can figure it out because I've figured out all these other problems before. You guys,
Exactly. It's I think that in Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice by Dennis Kimbrough, based on Napoleon Hill, he says right mental attitude. That's all you need.
hmm
That's all you need.
yeah, exactly. You guys, it is 2:45. I'm going to go ahead and enter all of your names into the wheel. Andrew, do you want to go ahead and if you have something to add or you have a question?
Just to add to that, I need that that discussion I came on the back end. You know, you guys have daylight saving time, so I'm always missing the time. However, when I miss the early training, but fine, yeah, we do need that discussion you just had because yeah, I definitely need to monetize and stop learning. I'm trying. I'm trying. So I've been running another business for six years, training. So I really need to implement. Plus, I worked with a multinational for over 15 years. So I really need to transfer those to me. I used to go be seeing doctors, 9 doctors a day religiously, government officials religiously, spoke to the top, to the bottom. So I definitely need to put that in my business and stop this imposter, as you said, that, you know, you feel because I'm new to this, fairly new. I've used GHL for nearly more than 2 years now, running the first business I had to set my appointments, scheduling, automations. That's how I became an agency. So I definitely need to transfer the knowledge and stop looking at shiny stuff and just implement because definitely finances now I have to pay attention to that. I love the tech. I'm telling you, there's no doubt. I love it. It's fun, but a business is a business,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it requires, just like we need food, it requires cash, cash, cold, hard cash. That's the only thing it understands.
Yeah, and it's a different type of motivation. When you're just like, oh, this software, I'm only spending $50 a month in software and like let's just tinker around with this business or whatever. That is a different mindset than the person who has quit their job. Their 100% income is coming from this business. And when you feel the stress of I don't even know where my mortgage, the money to pay this is going to come from. I have no idea. That feeling is like the literally the weight of the world. But you can either continue doing the same thing you're doing that's not moving the needle, or you can do something different. So I really encourage you, do something different. If it doesn't work out, at least you're further along because now you know something that you tried didn't work.
Yeah, and to add to that, to close it off, let you go, is it's lonely here. So a group like this, communities, really, we speak a different language. We understand, but your relatives and your family don't know. You're a hold up. So I have a home office and I have another office. When it seemed like I'm too much in the home office and they're eyeing me, I just go to my office. But yeah, they need to see you rolling in some cash and it will pacify them just a little bit.
Well, yeah, and it makes sense because especially if you quit your job to do this because they're like, "Oh my gosh, now I how are we going to do?" So they don't not only do they not understand what you're doing or the opportunity, they're like, I don't now they feel everything that you feel, all the pressure, but they don't have any control over the outcome. It's just, I'll support you, I'll support you. Here I am, the supportive cheerleader. But it's like, hey, are we going to pay the mortgage? It's like, God love my husband. He's my biggest cheerleader. But there were times when he's like, "Ugh, how's this going to work out?" And I didn't have the answer for that. But I promise you, do something different. If whatever you're doing is not working, do something different and don't stop. And also, the biggest conversion you're going to have is talking to people in person. And I know that's super awkward for all of us to do, but Andrew, you said you plowed the pavement, you were talking to 9 doctors a day. You already know that, you have that skill set. This should not be an issue for you. I think that you maybe the pressure is what's causing you to feel so inadequate, but you have so many skills. Being able to do that, it puts you miles ahead of most people because you know you have experience, you know how to talk to people. So just find that in yourself, the confidence in what you're offering, the solution that you're providing them, and then have that same confidence when you go talk to them. Let me
Thanks
make
for
sure.
that. Definitely. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, you're welcome. Let me make sure that I have everyone entered here into the wheel before we do that. So if I don't call your name, let me know for sure. I'm going to share my screen here so y'all can see.
And Bridget, please do not forget to check out the chat. Timmy's had a couple of really good encouraging words that I think will make you smile.
Okay, cool. Charles, Frankie, Keith, Manolo, Maria, Martina, Paul, Sandy, Timmy. Did I miss anyone?
Me, Andrea.
Andrea? Oh, is it a different Andrea?
Oh, that's me. Yeah. I didn't
Andrea
hear
B.
my name. Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I got you up here,
Okay.
Andrea.
There you
All
go.
right, guys, I'm gonna spin the wheel here. Let me go ahead and expand this. And of course, whoever wins will receive a free private consultation. So let's do it. Charles! All right, now we have you unmuted for that one, huh? All right. I'll send you the link as soon as we're done here. We have one more. So you guys know every week we started doing an additional drawing for those who comment on the previous week's session. So this session that we have right now will be uploaded to YouTube tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you guys go to that video, when you get the notification, go to the video and comment below gamma. That'll be the word for the day. Then you can enter into next week's drawing. This week for this video, it was actually MCP because I showed last week how to connect OpenAI with HighLevel using the MCP server. That's the word that we needed to comment below. I'm going to go ahead and get those comments here using our tool. There were 8 people, so I'm going to expand this and click start. All right, it was Keith. So I will send you the link when we're done here as well. Keith and Charles are our winners today. Congratulations. Looking forward to it as always. Do
It's
you
so
guys have
awesome that you offer this. You can show us how to increase engagement as well as give away some value as well.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not doing booked appointments all day, every day, and it is cool, especially like the YouTube, because I get to talk to you guys every day in the community. I see most of you 5 days a week, but it's so cool to have those YouTube meetings because I'm meeting all kinds of new people that I don't normally get to meet. So I think that's really fun too. It's a cool thing. And I will say the test for the engagement has been really good. Obviously, the comments are more, but that's helping YouTube to push out the videos to more people. So this whole strategy and everything that I told you we were testing out has been working really, really well.
Okay. Sorry, a quick clarification. This is in our portal. We can watch this over rewatch. Like
Yeah,
last week, this week. Yeah, it's in. Oh, because
yeah.
I'm trying to throttle learning versus action. So I watch replays when when I'm finished with some income generating activities, which I'm disciplining myself to do. So the replays are very important. And sometimes I know you drop things in the chat that I will not get, but I guess I missed one the other day. I'm still missing it, but just letting you know.
Yeah, you can always go watch the replays of our Friday sessions on YouTube. Those are always there. What was I just going to tell you?
Yeah, about me missing stuff that you drop in the chat. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to tell you. It's ironic that you said that because you reminded me again today when I was talking to someone. This person was asking about how I've been so consistent because I've gone live 5 days a week for the last 5 years. And that people ask me all the time, how in the world have you done this? But look, the best way to be consistent is simply having a plan. And when you have a plan, it's not a weird thing to say, oh, you have a job? Great. You're so consistent because you show up 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. That's like normal because you have a job. Our businesses are jobs too. And so we need to have a plan every day of the things that we're going to accomplish. And so If you can't make the 2 p.m. session, at least add into your day to make sure to watch the replay because it's so much easier to watch the replay of like an hour session 5 days a week than it is to try to like magically one day you're going to have all this time where no one bothers you and then you're just going to binge watch and then learn everything. That's not the best way to learn anyway. But being consistent means that you have to set a routine for yourself. And so, whatever that routine is, whether it's watching the replays of our sessions, or it is, doing cold calling, or it is reaching out to, walking into 5 different businesses, whatever that is, you just have to, it helps to write it down on a piece of paper or a Google Sheet. That's my favorite way and have a plan. These are the things that I need to do today, and that's what you need to get done. So that's my little speech on consistency and making sure that you are not having to binge watch all of these sessions.
And you did well on the WLS on whatever the name of it with Walt, and that was very interesting.
Oh,
And
cool.
you
Thanks.
did represent. I mean, you're a one trick pony, and you stick to it. Yeah.
I practice what I preach, for sure. For sure. All right, guys, do you have any other questions or anything that you need to ask me before we go for the weekend?
Did you scroll up and check your comments? I know you're focused on making sure we end on time. You get everybody in, but I didn't want you to miss those comments. We really do appreciate you, Bridget.
Oh, I love it. Thank you for reminding me to read comments.
Yes. Well, I know you have those screens up and you're also running the stream. So it's a
Yeah,
lot that you don't get to see that we comment, and we're really thankful for you.
right. Well, I'm thankful for you guys too. And I really mean that because it's one thing to have 22,000 YouTube subscribers. That's cool. But it's a cooler thing to have. It's so touching to me and like it's hard to even describe how it feels that it's like there were so many times when I first started doing this that I would do these webinars and no one would show up. It would a lot of times be me and Maria
I was
in
gonna
the
say
meetings.
I did show up.
Yeah, it was like me and Maria, just, and I was so grateful for Maria because I was like, I would have no one else to talk to if she didn't show up.
And I would I would, it was difficult, Bridget, because no, I'm kidding. I would make up questions. I had to.
Yeah. Yeah, we played off of each other for sure. But the fact that you guys like plan your days to join me and it's like you join me so consistently, I really do feel like you guys are like my extended family. Honestly, I like most of you better than my actual family anyway. But it's really as much like all the nice things you guys say about me, I feel the same about you in this community because I need the community the same way that I know you guys need and enjoy the community because it's like Andrew was saying, we have families, they just don't understand. It's not like their fault or they're bad or not supportive. They just don't understand what we're trying to do. And it's so nice to have a community of people that you know, like, and trust and you can say, hey, I'm really struggling with this, or you can say, um, or you can hear somebody else that you know was struggling and then they have a win and you're like so inspired by that. It's that whole thing is so important and so part of the process. You definitely don't want to have to do that alone. You don't have to. We have a whole community of everybody using the same tools to build their business. And I love more than any other people. I love talking business with other business owners. That is so fun. All right, guys. Anything else before we go? All
No,
right.
enjoy your weekend. I can't wait to see what you bring us next week.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. As always, I hope you have an awesome weekend and I will see you all on Monday. Go make your vision a reality. Bye.